Guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Aubrey and I am back for a sign by sign forecast for the 12 ascendants for this week starting with June 28th, 2021. This is a very significant week in the astrology. This is a very climactic week that is really big, one of the biggest energetic activations of this entire year in terms of the impact that it could potentially have on our lives individually and what we might see transpiring collectively. And so I thought that this was a good week to give a sign by sign outlook for how these energetics are going to be impacting people and the areas of your life that are likely to be affected by this activation this week. So just a brief intro. If you guys want to check out my video for, well, I haven't done it yet, but I will do a video on July 1st talking all about this specific energetic, but I've also been alluding to it for a few weeks now, and in my video from Monday, June 28th, check that out as well if you want some more in-depth information about this before I release the video for July 1st when this activation happens. But basically there are three planets that are in two are in opposition to each other and one is square, and they are all very significant planets, and we need to look at the areas of life, the houses that each of these three planets are in for each of the 12 signs to know what you can expect in terms of how this tension and this really heated emotional upheaval might be affecting you in your life. So without further ado, let me get started. I am going to do as many as I can in 30 minutes before my video cuts off, and then I will finish the rest in an additional video. So let's get started with ascendants in Aries. For ascendants in Aries, you guys have Mars coming into your 5th house, you have Saturn in your 11th house, and you have Uranus transiting your 2nd house currently. So right now there has been some type of conflict or struggle going on between friends groups, networks, associations, social networks, organizations that you're a part of, sort of limiting you, holding you back in some type of way, feeling obligated or responsible or just frustrated because of other people and their expectations for you kind of at this point and where you fit into that group, and bringing up some type of internal struggle or frustration or feeling suppressed from moving forward because of these organizations, these groups, these friends groups, these social groups holding you back for one reason or another. And this is also having an impact on your finances, okay? Uranus is in your 2nd house. The 2nd house rules money. It also rules relationships, comfort, material possessions, resources. So there are major changes going on right now in terms of your money, how you make your money, your home, your projects that you're working on, what makes you feel comfortable, and also relationships as well, finances, relationships, undergoing some type of major change right now, and there is something frustrating you, holding you back in regards to those 11th house issues, groups, friends groups, social networks, organizations, other people generally, okay? And now you have Mars coming into your 5th house. And the 5th house, this is the house that is ruled by the sun, and it's all about our personal creative self-expression, our freedom to be and express ourselves and who we truly are, all of our creative potential, all of our joy in life, our ability to play, have fun, engage in sports and games and drama also, and also children are ruled by the 5th house. So with Mars coming into the 5th house, Aries, this week, you're really going to want to watch things that are going on with your children. For one, make sure that they're safe, make sure that they're not taking too many impulsive risks about things. You're going to kind of want to watch that with children. Also, you're going to kind of want to watch being overly dramatic about things. If you feel like some heated emotions, some heated tension, if you're feeling like really emotionally restricted and obstructed, you're really going to kind of want to watch being overly dramatic about things and overly expressive about things, and this could also come out in the form of like anger or passion or rage or depression as well, because the anger, when it's internalized, is depression. So, and also your creative self-expression, just how you're expressing yourself, you're really going to want to kind of make sure that it is not just like way over the top. way crazy, like way more than, you know, you normally would do, okay? Because with Mars in the fifth house, Mars in Leo, there's definitely just an emotional outburst and very dramatic, and a lot of energy towards expressing yourself and saying what you mean, Aries. So unless, again, you've been being like, you've needed to speak your mind for a long time, if you've really needed to stand up for yourself for a very long period of time and have been kind of afraid to, or, you know, just hiding from it, avoiding it, this is the time to do it. However, if it's just a result of how you're feeling today and how you're feeling right now, and it's not something that's been really bothering you for a long period of time, you kind of want to think about it, think about why you're feeling that way, think about what's making you feel that way, and think about what the consequences of this outburst might actually be, okay? You know, really try to be more internal. Also, you can be use this energy, Aries, also to be creative and expressive. You know, write your feelings down, write a song, write a poem, create a piece of artwork that like describes how you're feeling, and use it to channel these emotions, as opposed to just being way over dramatic and speaking your mind in a way that can cause some type of negative unanticipated consequences leading into the future, okay? So that's what I have for you guys, Aries. Let's move on and talk about Taurus. Now, for Taurus, you have Saturn currently transiting your 10th house. You have Uranus currently transiting your first house, and Mars in Leo moving through your 4th house right now. So this is going to bring up themes relating to authority figures, bosses, and just generally people that you feel have control over you or an authority over you in some type of way, juxtaposed to the home environment, the mother, the family, the root connection, and then Uranus in the 4th house, major changes to your identity. So right now for you guys, Taurus, there has been some type of authority figure, some type of boss, or it could be your public reputation or your public image or your career that has been stifling you, holding you back, making you feel limited, making you feel like you can't move forward the way that you want to. And this is directly in relation to personal changes to your own identity that you're trying to make. You're really trying to liberate yourself and to come back into your personal authenticity in terms of who you really are and how people are perceiving you. You, Taurus, have come to a point where you're kind of sick of people having a false interpretation of like who you actually are, and you really are trying to make some major personality adjustments in terms of your personal presence in the world, how you're coming off to people, how your personal vibration is like resonating out, and your personality generally and how people perceive you, and also your physical appearance. Taurus may be going through a lot of like lifestyle changes in terms of their personal appearance, you know, maybe working out more, maybe doing things to alter your personal appearance, and just really wanting to be more authentically represented in terms of how you're physically appearing and how you're physically coming off and existing in the world. And again, this is being very stifled, very held back by some type of authority figure who is preventing you from moving forward and making these personal changes in the way that you would like to. Again, we have to remember this is because Saturn really wants you to reevaluate the foundation of your relationship to those authority figures, to those bosses, to this career, to that public image, to that reputation. Is this the same way that you want to carry on this area of your life going forward? You know, is your public image, is your reputation in alignment with who you truly are on an authentic level, or are you being held back right now so that you can reevaluate your reform the baseline of your relationship to your career, to your public image, to your reputation, to authority figures, so that you can make these personal identity changes and be liberated in your personality and your personal, you know, who you are and how you come off in the first house. And now we have to talk about Mars moving into, or opposition was Saturn, square to Uranus in the 4th house. Again, the 4th house, this rules the mother, this rules the home, this rules the family, this rules the place of origin, where we're coming from, and also, you know, where we feel comfortable, where we feel supported, where we get our nurturing. Some type of conflict going on in this area of life. So with you, Taurus, you're really going to want to try to be careful about asserting any type of aggression in terms of your motherhood or towards your own mother, towards your family, towards your home, your place of origin, the people that you grew up around, your roots, your hometown. You're really going to want to sort of hold back this week any abrupt urge you feel to really make big changes in terms of this area of your life, or to really speak your mind, or to really, you know, throw a fit, or to really be overly aggressive or overly assertive about getting your way in this area of life relating to the home, the family, motherhood, one's own parents, one's own mother. Again, if this is a change that needs to happen, if you've been avoiding standing up for yourself and your family for a long period of time, and you know that it's having all of these really detrimental impacts on your ability to become the person that you're trying to become, now is the time that universe is going to do it for you if you can't do it for yourself. But this is very important, Taurus. Very important, Taurus. If this is not something that absolutely needs to happen now, don't do it. Don't do it. Think about it. Internalize it, analyze it, understand every aspect of where these feelings are stemming from, where are they rooted from, the 4th house, and what strategy can you make to ultimately get what you want and get the liberation that you want and that you need without causing major conflicts in your family or with your parents or with your home that are going to have unanticipated consequences and some type of instant karma that is not the outcome that you originally wanted, okay? So Taurus and all the fixed sign ascendants, Taurus ascendant, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo, this is hitting you guys the hardest because this T-square is happening in fixed signs. And so if you have an ascendant specifically near the middle of the fixed signs between, you know, like 10 and 16, 17, 18 degrees, this is specifically activating and affecting you the most. And like I said, if it's not something that has really been needing to happen, you're going to want to hold off. You're going to want to keep a handle on those emotions, okay? And that's what I have to say for you guys, Taurus. All right, moving on. Gemini. For Geminis, you guys have had Saturn moving through the 9th house, and you have Uranus in the 12th, and Mars is now transiting Leo through the 3rd. So for all my Geminis out there, and I'm included in this, I'm also a Gemini, we have had some type of restriction or limitation or frustration going on with our ability to attain information, to gain wisdom, to gain knowledge, to expand our belief system, to expand our way of viewing situations and the world, to and also possibly interfering with any desires that we've had to do some type of like long distance travel or communicate or interact with people from like a foreign land, long distance away, and generally though, just really hindering our ability to gain a good view of the overall picture of things. Saturn in the 9th house. And Saturn in the 9th house is also asking us to really work hard to gain this wisdom, to gain these overall understandings, to get a better view of things, and to align with that overall higher picture, and to gain that and the faith and the beliefs and the wisdom and the greater overall understanding. We've been being asked to put a lot of hard work into getting there, and it hasn't been easy. You know, we've been being very restricted for a lot of reasons. And this has a lot to do with Uranus transiting our 12th house. And with Uranus in the 12th house, to me, this has to do with awakening us on a subconscious spiritual level, and also helping us to let go of things that are hindering our progress from attaining a more authentic divine connection. The way that I see this transit for us right now, it's like we're being limited from gaining this information, this greater understanding, interacting with these teachers, these gurus, these mentors, and being having this wisdom imparted on us. We really have had to like work a lot harder to get it. But I really think with Uranus in the 12th, it's because we are supposed to be, like I said, developing a more authentic connection to our own intuition, our own ability to receive information through dreams and meditation and flashes of insight, and connecting to spirit on the more prophetic level. It's like at this point in time for Gemini ascendants, the spirit doesn't want the information coming through other people. Spirit wants it. It's frustrating and it's holding us back because spirit doesn't want us relying on mentors, gurus, like wise men, teachers as much to gain this understanding. Spirit wants us getting it through our direct, authentic connection to source and to spirit. And I think that that is a lot to do with how these energetics are playing out for us with Saturn and Uranus in the 9th and 12th. Now we have Mars coming into our 3rd house. So to me, this means that there could be some uncomfortable messages coming through this week. We really need to watch our words, okay? With Mars in the 3rd house, without even trying, we can come off very overly aggressive in the way that we're speaking. And we really want to make sure that we're not like spitting fire this week, okay? And also this could have to do with siblings as well, because siblings are ruled by the 3rd house. There could be some arguments, there could be some issues that are going on with siblings, but also, I mean, the 3rd house is the house of gaining, it's information, it's communication, it's associated with our sign of Gemini. So we could be receiving some very uncomfortable information this week. We could be getting in verbal confrontations. We need to watch verbal confrontations, verbal conflicts, and just really like harsh and aggressive and heated words, both coming to us and coming out of us. And again, just uncomfortable messages, critical messages, conflicting messages coming through. Just, this is a very contentious time for receiving and giving information. So for us Geminis, we really want to be careful about what we're saying and also be careful about how we're reacting to information that we are receiving. We really, really, really want to watch overreacting to criticism or overreacting to something that we hear or that somebody tells us or that someone says to us. We don't just want to kind of like spout off, like Geminis can be, very skilled at doing. This is not the time where we really want to go to verbal war with anybody about anything. Even you can have a very sharp tongue, Gemini, and it can end up having less than great consequences going forward. However, you guys, if you've been needing to speak your mind, if you've been needing to say something, if you've been needing to really tell someone off that is has been building for a very long period of time and it's really kind of important for your ability to move forward, then universe will most likely put you in a position this week where that has to happen. But if it's not something that really, really needs to happen, we've been thinking about happening or we've been avoiding from happening, and it's just sort of something that like is spur of the moment, comes up and we just react, that is not, we need to watch our words, Gemini, this week. And being Geminis, like I said, this is not the easiest thing for us, but this is what we need to do, especially in regards to teachers and people that are generally that we try to receive information from. There might be a lot of tension or conflict going on with teachers, or again with people from like a foreign land that we are associated with, or people that we learn from or gain information from, or that we want to gain information from. There could be some type of conflict that goes on with these type of people, or also with our belief systems generally. There might be some conflicting, we might want to say things, or we might receive information this week actually that kind of is in complete conflict with our understanding and our greater understanding and our beliefs about things. So we really, Geminis, kind of want to hold it together, hold it in this week in terms of how we're communicating, how we're expressing ourselves, and be sure not to have, just really quick, unthought out reactions to things that can kind of cause issues for us. Now, moving on, let's talk about Leos. Leos, you guys have had Saturn transiting your 7th house. You've had Uranus transiting your 10th house, and Mars is now, Leo, in your sign, in your 1st house. So this is going to be a very big week for Leos specifically. So for you guys, Leos, there have been relationship issues going on. Partnerships, relationships, financial issues possibly too, in relation to those partnerships and relationships. And this is because you guys have had Saturn transiting your 7th house. At this point in time, Leos, Saturn really, really wants you to reform your baseline of how you're doing relationships going forward. And so you guys have most likely been experiencing a lot of relationship difficulties over this past year with Saturn transiting your 7th house, because the way that you've been doing relationships up till this point is no longer serving you. And Saturn really wants you to, like I said, reform the baseline of your just way of doing relationships going forward, okay? You also have had Uranus in the 10th house trying to cause major changes to your public reputation, to your public image, to your relationship to authority figures and bosses, and your career generally, okay? Uranus is really trying to shake things up there for you and help you realign with a more authentic career experience, more authentic ways of dealing with authority and bosses, more authentic ways of representing yourself publicly, your public image, your reputation, undergoing major changes right now through Uranus's presence in your 10th house. And this is resulting a lot from these relationship restrictions and difficult relationship experiences, being limited in relationships potentially and by other people in partnerships that have been going on, to, like I said, for the purpose of getting you to reevaluate how you're doing relationships generally. Now for Leos, you guys have Mars in your 1st house with your ascendant for this activation this week. So this means that you generally might just be on one. Like, you guys really need to watch out for how you're acting and how you're acting to other people and how other people are perceiving you, and your level of personal aggression and hostility, contentiousness, and generally just the heat that you're carrying, that you're presenting, and that people are perceiving when they interact with you. Now, because you have this 1st and 7th dynamic, and this for you guys, Leos, is definitely going to be pertaining to those relationships. Like, you're at the point where you just can't take it anymore. These relationships just have to go, and you're going to stand up for yourself, and you're going to say how you feel, and you just really need to be careful about how you're doing it, about being too aggressive, like I said, about being too assertive, too contentious, and just really kind of being like mean about the way that you're doing it. Now, again, you may be in a position where you are absolutely right, and this is the time where you really do need to stand up for yourself, because these relationships that have been going on, it just cannot go on anymore. And if you're someone who's been avoiding making these changes, kind of just like allowing yourself to be swept along, and knowing that it's not good for you, but not wanting to do it, not wanting to be uncomfortable, not wanting to deal with the consequences of having to address these relationship issues. If that is what you've been doing, then this week is going to do it for you, okay? And you are definitely going to be pushed into a position where you absolutely are going to be taking some action personally about these limiting relationships. But if it's something that you are just feeling impulsive, I just got to break up with this person, I got to end this partnership, I got to get away from these people, like, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm cutting them off financially, like this, that, or the other. If it's not something that you have really been thinking about, if it's not something that you've been strategizing or planning, if it is just something that is coming to you right now in this moment because you're so pissed off you can't stand it anymore, what you need to do is internalize, ask yourself, why am I feeling like this? Is this appropriate? Am I acting appropriate? Am I being too aggressive in my feelings right now? Or is this genuinely what I need to do? Because this absolutely cannot go on anymore, and I've reached a point where I'm no longer willing to take it. You know, if it, like I said, it really just comes down to where you're at in this situation and how long you've been dealing with this particular circumstance, with this particular person. You don't want to do anything too drastic that is going to have these instant karma effects or these unanticipated consequences that aren't what you want, that end up dragging out into the future and making things very difficult for you in some type of way. You really are going to want to be strategic in your behavior if this is something that you really do want to carry through on. So that's what I have for you guys this week, Leos. Watch being overly aggressive, watch being overly assertive, watch creating conflict, watch your personality generally and how you're coming off to people, unless it is just very, very needed. Actually, Leos, you guys should probably do your best to try to be as introverted as you can this week. Relax, not overdo it, and really just try to be calm and to yourself more this week if you can. That's probably the best way that you Leos can deal with this energy. Now, okay, Virgo. So you guys have had Saturn transiting your 6th house. You've had Uranus transiting your 9th house. And right now you have Mars in your 12th. And actually for you guys, Virgos, you are sort of like off the hook a bit for this activation. It's really not... in the context of how it's impacting a lot of the other signs, you guys kind of are getting a break with this activation just because of the house placements that it's going into. Although, with Saturn in the 6th house, for a while now, you guys have really been being asked to, you've been being limited in terms of your daily life experience, in terms of what you're doing on a daily basis, maybe facing some limitations or frustrations or some hardships in terms of, your routines, your habits, your day-to-day work, the service that you do for yourself and others, your self-care, your diet, your nutrition, health also with Saturn in the 6th house can kind of be restricted and limited in some type of way. But for some reason, there has been something, you guys, that has been limiting your just desire and drive to make the most out of your daily experience. Or, maybe you've been feeling like held back from making lifestyle changes that you've been wanting to make, and you've been really wanting to change your diet, wanting to exercise more, wanting to change your nutrition, wanting to take new supplements, wanting to change up the way that your daily life, your daily work, the way that you care for yourself and other people, just wanting to sort of make changes in your daily life, being restricted, held back, frustrated in some type of way. Maybe you're trying to increase your health to become more healthy, and it's just like something just like is not letting you make these changes, not letting you change your lifestyle, your day-to-day life in the way that you want to. Maybe you're having work issues that are keeping you from making the lifestyle changes that you want to make, or maybe you're just having like some like weaker health for some reason that is sort of like holding you back and making you feel like stifled in your ability to make these lifestyle changes that you want to make. But in some way, there's been something holding you back in regards to your day-to-day work, your day-to-day lifestyle, your habits, your routines, because Saturn really wants you to redo this area of your life and really wants you to make improvements and to really be working hard right now at reforming the foundation of your daily experience, okay? That is what Saturn is asking you to do to make yourself healthier and stronger and more capable and just have a better daily life experience going forward through the next 30 years. With Uranus transiting your 9th house, this though has been really working to bring you the wisdom, the overall understanding, and the authentic viewpoint of reality that is in alignment with the faith and the beliefs that you need to have in order to make these lifestyle changes, okay? Uranus in the 9th house, really shaking up your belief systems, really shaking up your understanding, your perception of reality, bringing you flashes of insight and like prophetic understandings that just sort of like come out of nowhere and just giving you really trying to realign you with the authentic truth about your beliefs in this experience and bringing your beliefs into alignment with the authentic truths simultaneously. And it's like through this process of realigning your beliefs with something that is more authentic and real and all-encompassing and, wise and true, this is going to help you make those changes in your 6th house, make those changes to your daily lifestyle, to how you care about yourself, to your work, to your service, to the way that your daily life operates. Wisdom that you are going to be gaining is going to help you make these changes that you're struggling with right now. But with Mars coming into your 12th house, this means that it's time to let things go. Okay, this means that the 12th house is the house of releasing things. It's also the house of spiritual connection. So the one thing that you guys are going to want to watch during this period of time is getting rid of things too quickly or too impulsively, or without thinking them through clearly, just sort of like letting it go. Like, oh, I'm feeling so restricted. Like, this thing in my life is keeping me from making these changes I want to make, and I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm just going to let it go. Like, I want nothing to do with it anymore. Just release, release, release. What you're going to want to do is try not to be super impulsive about the things, the people, the relationships, the circumstances that you are letting go, okay? But on the flip side, Virgos, this is a really great opportunity for you to be letting go of outdated dogmatic belief systems that no longer serve you and that are limiting you from making these changes to your daily life. For you guys, it's really quite clear how this energy is working out. You need to let go of sort of like a faulty understanding of your relationship with spirit, which you are receiving an awakening to your true relationship with spirit, your true relationship to the overall wisdom and knowledge in the universe, and your understanding of the greater whole, the overall good, how, like, the highest level of things, like wisdom, how things are operating. You're gaining information, you're gaining wisdom. You guys are getting an enlightening with Uranus traveling through the 12th house. And ultimately for you guys, it is so you can change your lifestyle, change your work, and be healthier and happier on a day-to-day basis going out into the future. So for you guys, Virgos, this is actually a really good time for you to put a lot of energy into connecting to spirit, put a lot of energy into examining and analyzing your spiritual practices and your relationship with your own spiritual connection, your higher self, information that comes to you through dreams, gaining a greater understanding of things, and really just letting go of belief systems that no longer are suitable to you. However, we have to remember, don't let everything go. Only the things that really need to go, Virgos, with this energetic. But for all of the signs, Virgos, you guys are probably going to have one of the easier experiences with this, and it's really just trying to get you to have a healthier and more fulfilling life and lifestyle moving into the next 30 years. Okay.